To unpack the mystery behind 3-1 Atlas, we talked to a physicist who is chasing the truth of this cosmic object.
A new visitor is screaming through our cosmic neighborhood, and it's causing quite a stir.
Mysterious objects have always fascinated us, but what happens when one suddenly appears and no one knows what it really is? Back in 2017, scientists saw something speeding through our solar system that didn't look like anything they had seen before. Some thought it was just a rock, while others believed it might be alien tech. Now it could be happening again. A NASA insider leaked scary 3 IATLAS images, leaving experts shocked. Could this be a harmless visitor, or the biggest sign yet that something out there is watching us? 3I Atlas didn't just randomly show up in our skies. It has been traveling for billions of years, moving through the empty space between stars before finally reaching our solar system. And when astronomers first spotted it in July 2025,
3I Atlas was discovered on July 1st by the NASA-funded Atlas survey.
They knew immediately that this was no ordinary comet. This was something extraordinary, the third known interstellar object ever discovered, after the infamous Oumuamua in 2017 and the ghostly comet Borisov in 2019. A stranger from the stars. Scientists named the interstellar object 3I/ATLAS. The 3I meant it was the third interstellar object ever discovered, and ATLAS was the telescope system that spotted it. From the moment it was found, it grabbed everyone's attention. Calling it rare would be an understatement. In all of human history, only 2 other confirmed visitors from beyond our solar system had ever been seen. Suddenly we had a third. And it wasn't just another icy rock. The Atlas was brighter, larger, and stranger than anything astronomers had expected. Because of this, many thought it might just be a comet behaving in an odd way. But the closer scientists studied it, the more they realized something didn't fit. At first, scientists thought it was just a new comet moving in a strange way. But then they noticed something surprising. Its path wasn't tied to the sun at all. Astronomers studying how it moved saw that it was on a path shaped like a wide-open curve, a clear sign it came from outside our solar system. Its orbit was measured at about 6.2, which is very unusual. To compare, another visitor called Oumuamua was only at 1.2, and Borisov was at 3.6. Atlas went far beyond both, rushing through our solar system at almost 60 kilometers every second. That's more than 134,000 miles per hour. At that speed, nothing in our solar system could pull it in or keep it close. The Atlas wasn't going to stay. It was only passing by, on its way back out into the wider galaxy. But if it was just passing through, why were astronomers so excited? What made this visitor different from anything they had seen before? Well, the speed wasn't the only surprise. Its brightness and size were unlike anything astronomers had seen in an interstellar object. Early estimates placed it at around 1 to 2 kilometers wide, making it larger than Borisov and vastly bigger than Oumuamua. And unlike Oumuamua, which left more questions than answers, ATLAS began to reveal comet-like activity almost immediately. A faint glow and a thin tail, signs that the ice on it was melting into gas, showed what it was made of. This gave scientists a clue that it was an untouched, ancient traveler from another star system. That's what amazed astronomers the most. This wasn't just a chance to watch a visitor from another star fly by. It was a chance to actually look at the tiny chemical clues it carried inside. This meant scientists could learn what another star system was made of. It wasn't just a random rock drifting through space. It was more like a time capsule, holding secrets that were billions of years old, maybe even older than our own sun. As Professor Mark Norris put it, if confirmed, it will be the third known interstellar object we've discovered, providing more evidence that such wanderers are relatively common in our galaxy. In other words, maybe our solar system isn't all by itself like we thought before. Maybe it has neighbors out there too. But here's where things take a darker turn. Because while astronomers celebrated the discovery, the data from NASA's telescopes hinted at something different, something not yet fully explained. Atlas's brightness fluctuations didn't quite match expectations. Its trajectory showed odd signatures. And as more telescopes, including Hubble and JWST, turned their gaze toward this alien visitor, what they found went far beyond the neat, tidy story of just another comet. Could this object carry clues from a dead star system? Could it be far older than anything we've studied before? Or, as some whisper, could there be something more intentional about its path through our solar system? One thing was certain: Atlas wasn't going to stay. In just a few months, it would leave our solar system and head back into deep space, so astronomers had to hurry to study it before it was gone. But where was it now, and how could anyone spot it before it disappeared? Right now, Atlas is moving across the sky in the part of space called Sagittarius. It lies within the bright band of stars that form the Milky Way. From mid-northern latitudes, it appears low along the southern horizon. The object is so faint that it's almost impossible to see with just your eyes. Astronomer Gianluca Masi, working with the Virtual Telescope project, took pictures of 3I/ATLAS on July 3rd. His measurements showed the comet glowing at magnitude 18.5. That means it is about 2.5 million times dimmer than Polaris, also known as the North Star. To even spot it, you would need a telescope that is about 15 to 20 centimeters wide and has a special camera attached, called a CCD camera. And if you wanted to see it directly with your own eyes through a telescope, astronomers say you would need a really big one with an opening about 16 inches across, the kind that only very dedicated skywatchers usually have. Professor Martin Barstow at the University of Leicester put it bluntly: "It will not be visible to the naked eye, and I think it will be a challenge for an amateur, but some have impressive equipment these days." But that's only the beginning of the story, because this comet isn't staying the same. 3I/ATLAS is still far away, and it's expected to brighten as it draws closer to the Sun. By the time of its closest approach, some estimates suggest it could reach magnitude 11. Faint, but within reach of skilled amateur astronomers. As Professor Norris explained, by then it will be a relatively easy target for amateur astronomers to observe. What makes this even more exciting is not just how we'll see it, but what it actually is. Interstellar objects like 3I/ATLAS are more than astronomical curiosities. They are time capsules from other star systems, carrying within them the frozen chemistry of worlds that orbit distant suns. Each one is a messenger, a physical link between our solar system and the wider galaxy. Professor Barstow emphasized their importance. They undoubtedly carry chemical signatures from outside the solar system, so gaining observations tells us a lot about the possibility of material traveling between planetary systems. If we could get a sample from one day, it would be an incredible breakthrough. But here's the problem. Atlas is moving too fast. By the time we detected it, the comet was already racing past us at interstellar velocity. A mission to catch up with it now is impossible. As Barstow explains, we would need a spacecraft ready to do this in space, fully checked out and with a rendezvous capability. This isn't a new idea. The European Space Agency's Comet Interceptor, launching in 2029, will wait in orbit to study surprise visitors like comets or interstellar objects. But there's a problem. Something as fast as Atlas may still outrun it, vanishing into the dark before it can be caught. And yet, the stakes couldn't be higher. As Professor Norris explains, even with our fastest rockets, it would take tens of thousands of years for us to reach nearby stars. Thanks to these visitors from outside our solar system, we may not have to travel that far to sample star systems beyond our own. But we'll need the technology to catch up and reach them before they pass through our solar system. But the story doesn't end with a normal space discovery. As more information came in, scientists saw something that worried them. 3I/ATLAS wasn't moving the way they expected. Its path didn't match the math, and no one had a clear answer why. So now the real question is, what is NASA keeping from us? Hidden truths. NASA keeps quiet. Officially, NASA has provided stunning, crystal-clear images of Atlas taken by some of the world's most powerful telescopes: Hubble, Webb, and Sphere-X. We've seen the coma, the gas trails, even faint chemical signatures. But insiders began hinting that not every image captured has been released to the public. Back in 1965, astronaut James McDivitt, commander of Gemini 4, reported seeing a mysterious object outside his capsule window. He described it as looking like a beer can with a pencil sticking out of it. For 30 long seconds, he watched it drift past the spacecraft, even snapping photos. But when he returned to Earth, something strange happened. The photo NASA circulated as McDivitt's UFO wasn't the one he remembered taking. The real pictures had disappeared. Years later, when the original shots resurfaced, McDivitt himself admitted they were probably just reflections of capsule bolts. A simple, rational explanation, or a convenient one? Then, in 2008, Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell made headlines when he casually confirmed what many conspiracy theorists had been shouting for decades. According to him, aliens had already visited Earth, and insiders at NASA knew it. Little people who look strange to us, he called them, adding, "The UFO phenomenon is real." NASA, of course, denied any cover-up, brushing off Mitchell's words as a misinterpretation or exaggeration. But the seed of suspicion was already planted. That's why, when whispers began spreading about leaked images of 3I/ATLAS, people paid attention. NASA's official pictures from Hubble and the James Webb Space Telescope were amazing. They showed stars shining, long glowing tails of gas, and a faint halo around an icy visitor from another star. But some people said there were secret photos that showed much stranger things: glowing pieces breaking off the comet, odd bursts of energy as if it was making its own weak radiation, and even shapes with straight lines and sharp angles that almost never appear naturally in outer space. If strange details really were hidden, the question becomes, how do astronomers normally watch the skies and decide what the world gets to see? Most interstellar surveys, including the one that spotted the ATLAS, rely on wide-field telescopes like Pan-STARRS in Hawaii. These massive digital eyes scan the night sky continuously, capturing thousands of images and automatically flagging unusual moving objects. Every night, terabytes of raw data are stored, catalogued, and often reviewed by small research teams before anything reaches the public. But once something unusual is found, even bigger telescopes are brought in to take a closer look. The biggest telescopes are Hubble and the James Webb Space Telescope. They don't just snap pretty pictures. They collect raw information in different kinds of light, like infrared, ultraviolet, and near-infrared. And this information has to be cleaned up and organized before anyone else can see it. The raw files aren't shared with the public right away. First, they're stored in NASA's own computer systems, and sometimes they stay private for a while so that only selected scientists can study them. This means that sometimes the most surprising discoveries are hidden in the data long before anyone else knows about them. Strange energy signals. Using Webb's infrared sensors, scientists expected to see normal comet activity in the atlas: water vapor, carbon dioxide, and other gases. And they did. But hidden in the data were faint spikes, unusual signals not normally seen in comets. Was it a mistake with the instruments? Maybe. Or could it mean something stranger? Some people claim that leaked images of the atlas showed glowing pieces pulsing with light, odd energy spikes in the infrared, and parts of the comet's core that looked angular, like panels or struts. These claims made people excited and curious, even though NASA has never said these images actually exist. Stories like this made scientists and the public start paying closer attention to strange visitors from outside our solar system. Another mystery, like Oumuamua. Back in October 2017, astronomers spotted something that would change space science forever. A mysterious object was racing through our solar system on a hyperbolic path, meaning it wasn't from here and would never return. They named it Oumuamua, which in Hawaiian means messenger from afar. But this messenger wasn't normal. Instead of looking like a round asteroid or a glowing comet, Oumuamua had a long cigar-like shape, about 400 meters long but only 40 to 50 meters wide. That was strange enough, but it got weirder. As it passed near the sun, its speed suddenly increased, as if it had been given an invisible push. Normally comets speed up because gas and dust escape when they heat up. But Oumuamua had no visible tail, no outgassing at all. This left astronomers puzzled. Was it a comet remnant, a fragment of a distant exoplanet, or something else entirely? Among the many theories, one stood out and sparked worldwide controversy. Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb suggested that Oumuamua's strange shape and unexplained acceleration could mean it was not a rock at all, but an alien probe powered by sunlight, like a light sail. This idea set off a media storm. Some outlets claimed NASA was scared or hiding something, while scientists across the globe argued fiercely. Was this just a natural visitor? Or had humanity just witnessed the first evidence of extraterrestrial technology? Most scientists, however, disagreed. They argued that while Oumuamua was bizarre, it could still be explained through natural causes. Some said it might be a fragment of a nitrogen ice exoplanet, or a comet releasing hydrogen in ways too faint for telescopes to detect. By 2021, many researchers leaned toward the explanation that it was a hydrogen comet, unusual but still natural. Still, the debate left a mark. Oumuamua showed us that interstellar visitors are real, and they may not always fit neatly into our categories of comet or asteroid. And now, years later, we have another mystery: a TLAS. Like Oumuamua, it's an object from outside our solar system that acts in strange ways. Once again, Avi Loeb and other scientists have suggested it might be alien technology, and this time they even said it could be a dangerous craft. Mainstream astronomers disagree. They point out that telescopes have seen Atlas releasing gas and dust, classic comet behavior. To them, it's unusual, yes, but not alien. But here's the unsettling question. If Oumuamua once fooled us into years of speculation, could the Atlas be repeating the same mystery, only bigger, stranger, and scarier? Before we can even guess, scientists had to get a closer look and find out what this comet was really made of. Inside the mysterious 3I/ATLAS. When NASA focused the James Webb Space Telescope on 3I/ATLAS, scientists were looking for answers, and they found them. Webb's Near-Infrared Spectrograph, or NIR spec, took a deep look at the comet's glowing halo, called the coma, and its trailing dust tail. The results were that Webb detected water ice, carbon monoxide, and unusually high levels of carbon dioxide. That last part shocked scientists. The comet had so much carbon dioxide that it was shining far brighter than expected. For some, this strange glow only fueled wild theories, claims of alien engines, nuclear reactors, or some kind of artificial light source. But science tells a different story. In fact, that mystery glow, which fueled so much speculation about alien engines or nuclear power, is simply the result of natural outgassing. As sunlight warms the icy core, gas and dust escape, creating the glowing coma and tail we see. Supporting data from SphereX and the Hubble Space Telescope confirm the same result. This is comet activity, not technology. Some people suggested a wild idea that the Atlas might be alien technology sent to watch Earth. They pointed to its very fast speed and unusual path through space as proof. But leading astronomers like Darryl Seligman countered this directly, pointing out that telescopes have captured classic comet behavior consistent with natural origins. NASA, ESA, and other space agencies all agree there is zero proof of anything artificial. Instead, what makes 3I/ATLAS fascinating is its chemistry and history. The high carbon dioxide may mean the comet formed near the carbon dioxide ice line in its home star system, where temperatures were just right for carbon dioxide to freeze solid. Another possibility is that its surface was blasted by high radiation, enriching its carbon dioxide content. Some scientists even think the comet has a thick insulating crust, trapping water ice inside and allowing more carbon to escape than water vapor. What is even more incredible is that the Atlas could be 7 billion years old, making it the oldest comet ever observed, older even than our solar system itself. Each new finding is a window into how distant star systems form and evolve. Even with all this amazing science, some people can't help wondering if there's something more mysterious going on. Because if this is all natural, why are some still clinging to the alien story? The possibilities of contact. Comet 3I/ATLAS is not dangerous to Earth. The closest it will come is about 150 to 170 million miles away, which is so far that it's more than 600 times the distance from Earth to the Moon. It will get closest to the Sun on October 30th, 2025, at about 130 million miles away, just a little closer than Mars. Scientists don't yet know how big the comet is, but they can see that it's active. It has an icy center, called a nucleus, and a glowing cloud of gas and dust around it, called a coma. Now, even though the comet is flying into our solar system in a dramatic way, it will stay very far from Earth. There's no chance it will crash into us. Do you believe we're truly being visited, or are we just chasing shadows in the sky? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, share and subscribe for more mysterious journeys. We'll see you in the next video.